Hello.
Akka, are you able to hear me?
Naveen, you unmute yourself and you start the class. Datta, hello.
I'm able to hear you. 1 minute.
Yeah, oh
Ah,
yeah, yeah. Tell.
okay. Shall I ask him to start?
Yes. You can
Okay.
start. Okay.
Naveen, you start sharing your screen, okay?
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay.
Good evening to everyone. Everyone can able to hear me? Is my voice is audible?
Yeah, your voice is audible. Naveen,
Okay, okay.
okay. You can start.
Uh, Actually, today we are going to see respiratory system in insects. Actually, before I'm starting, I shall tell some points in this PPT presentation. I have added some important points regarding to ICAR examination. As from last year onwards, the exam patterns has been deferred. They have made some changes in the question settings. They are expecting the answers from us in applied manner. So questions will be most probably in applied manner only. So as you need to be thorough in the concepts first of all before reading some objective books or else bits points. It's better if you are good in concepts. It will be useful for you in exam to tackle. In this PPT, I have added such points which will be helpful for your exam preparation. After this, my presentations are over. I mean, my class is over. I will give this PPT to responsible person. You can share this and you can refer in future also. Okay, let us start first. If you see the insect respiratory system, commonly respiration is a process which involves the interchange of gases between the environment and the blood or cellular tissues of the organism. Usually, insect breathe by means of tracheal tubes in most of the insects. Some other method of respiration is also there, but this tracheal respiration is the major uh, form of respiration in most of the insect groups. Usually, this tracheal respiration involves the spiracles, trachea, tracheoles. We are going to cross over these terminologies. And in this tracheal respiration, usually the gaseous exchange takes place in air-filled internal tubes. Nothing but the trachea are called as air-filled internal tubes. Uh, if you see the next important one is spiracles. These spiracles are the paired, which are paired and which present in the lateral opening on the pleura of thoracic and abdominal segment through which the air enters into the insect body. In many insects, spiracles is having a cavity or a chamber called atrium. Uh, it may also having a closing mechanism by means of atrial wall to avoid water loss. If you see the insects which are surviving in the high temperature zones, like arid zones, they need to prevent the dehydration. In for that, the spiracles are the important organs which helpful for preventing the degradation by closing their chamber with the help of this atrium, and in the atrium a wall called atrial wall will be present, and this wall may also be projecting out in the side, or maybe in some insect present in the inner end of atrium, this atrial valve. And if you see in some insects like Diphtheria and Coleoptera, spiracle is covered by a sieve plate which contains some small pores, like, and also some spines and hairs, which helps to prevent the entry of dust and any microorganisms or water. If you see this larval diphtherians, this is, you can see, this is the outer opening of a spiracle in the outside in the lateral area of abdomen and as well as thoracic segments. If you enter from that opening, if you go inside, you can see the atrium. This in this atrium, you can, and both that sides, in the upper side as well as lower side, you can see some spines. This can be modified in some insects as a hairs, and some insects it will be like a brush, which prevents the entry of microorganisms or dust or any other particles. So this is the basic structure of a spiracle. And actually spiracles having a closing mechanism, already I told, which it's important for prevention of water loss, and it's also important for the control of gas exchange and internal pressures in insect system, respiratory system. And if you see in most of the insects, the opening and closing of this spiracles results from muscle activity. The spiracles inside of the spiracles, the muscle fibers will be attaching. So this while the insect gets moving, these muscles will help to open or as well as closing the. It helps in opening and closing of the spiracles. And if you see, the number and arrangement of functional spiracles is varying in among insects. If you see the holomustic, first of all, here we are going to count the number of spiracles in thorax as well as abdomen. Based on this number of functional spiracles, there are several types they have classified. First one is holomustic. In this, there will be 2 pair of spiracles in the thorax, and in the abdomen there will be 8 pairs of spiracles. In the most group of insects, this holomustic type of respiration is there. That means the 10 pair of spiracles will be present. This grasshopper, cockroaches, fleas, and some hymenopterans as well as diphtheria larvae. So next one, if you see, is hemimustic. Hemimustic means hemi means few. There will be few pair of spiracles. This hemimustic is further having some different types based on the presence of functional spiracles. If you see peripneustic respiration, it is nothing but there will be only 9 pair of spiracle. 1 pair will be absent. One in prothorax. In that, another 8 spiracles will be present in abdominal segment. So it's peripneustic respiration. It's most probably it's present in the endoterigot larvae. And next one, if you say ampinistic, from the name ampi itself, you can tell 2 pairs, one in the front, another one is the at last. That front pair of spiracles is present in the mesothoracic segment, and the last pair of last abdominal segment will have 1 pair. It is present in this mycetophilid. Mostly in the mycetophilid larva. Larva of mycetophilid have these types, diphtheria order. And the next one is a promustic. In promustic, pro means in front of your insect, specifically in mesothoracic segment. We can find the spiracle. It is present in the larval cyclorapha, nothing but the larva of mosquitoes. If you see the larva of mosquitoes, you can find in the at its mesothoracic region, you can find a pair of spiracle. And in metanistic, if you see, it will be in the last abdominal segment. Its example is pupa of mosquito. The tumbler, if you see the tumbler of this mosquito, you can find this 1 pair of spiracle. And this apneustic means there is absence of spiracle. This wait a minute. This apneustic spiracles are mostly present in the naiads of mayflies. Mayfly naiads will not have any spiracles. It's have gills present inside, that we can see in the later slides. Now, if you come to trachea are nothing but these are larger tubes of the tracheal system, which are running from outside to inward. Okay, it breaks into finer branches. It will break into some small branches. It is called tracheole, and the smallest size of trachea is the 2 mm in diameter. It's not in the length; it's in diameter. The largest trachea are multicellular structures, while the smallest one are the single cells. In some insects, it will differ based on the requirement of its respiration. I mean, the metabolism process. In some insects, it will respire more. That insects will have this larger tracheas. If you see in some insects, it will be the requirement will be of less amount only. Other alternative methods like a cutaneous respiration also will be present in those insects. They can respire through cuticle also. So there the cells will be very small. And if you see the important one in the tracheal system is this ctenidium. Ctenidium are nothing but the spiral thickening of cuticular wall of trachea, and this ctenidia is usually sclerotized. The main function of ctenidia, if you see, is it prevents the collapse of trachea if the pressure inside the tube below air or the hemocoel pressure, nothing but the blood of insect we will call as hemocoel. The area which contains the insect blood is called hemocoel. If that hemocoel pressure becomes reduced or the air becomes less, this ctenidia will prevent the collapse of trachea. And the trachea serves primarily to transport oxygen from spiracles to tracheoles. This trachea acts as a bridge in between the outer spiracle and the inner tracheoles. That next we can see about the tracheoles. Tracheoles are, I will show the diagram. These are it is the inner, from the outer side you can have spiracles. After the spiracle entrance, you will have a atrium here. The atrium prevents the incoming of dust particles or any water molecules. And next to that you can find the trachea, this fine tubes, inner tubes. This trachea has, it will have epithelial cells, and then from this trachea, the outer, you can see this membrane like spiral membranes. These are called ctenidia. From this ctenidia only, from this trachea, there will be fine branches. It will have some fine branches. These are called tracheoles. Distally, the trachea gave rise to a finer tubes or branches called tracheoles. Tracheoles are nothing but these are blind-ended tubes. These were air-filled, and the terminal. So at the terminal end, it will have cells called tracheal end cells or simply end cells. In some books, they will give us an end cell. In some book, it will be they given as a tracheal end cell, and it is the primary site for gaseous exchange. The size, if you see this tracheal size, it will be of 2 mm in diameter. In some books, some author mentioned it's less than 1 micrometer, but usually it's commonly it's given as a 2 mm in diameter. And if you see, these tracheas are mostly these tracheoles. These will be penetrate, or else it's invaginated deeply into muscles via some invaginations of plasma membrane. That it's usually we can see this deep penetration or invagination of these tracheoles in the flight muscles of insects. For example, I will show the photograph here. You can see here, this is a trachea. This is a trachea. From there, you can find the branches, fine branches called tracheole. This tracheole, you can see inside the cell, it is a mitochondria is there. This tracheole will make us deep invagination, which nears the mitochondria, and it will help the transfer the oxygen for ATP process. You can see it's a fine process. This area you can see here. This is mitochondria. This is the plasma membrane. That invagination, you can see the tracheole here. This is the tracheolar cells, and this mostly this type of mechanism, this modification you can see in the flight muscles. Because why it is required in flight muscles means the flight muscles in many group of insects, those who are having are the good flyers, they require oxygen there. They require some respiration process there to make its flight good. There will be the circulation process, blood circulation is required. So you can find these types of mechanism in this flight muscles. And actually, trachea, I will tell on new terminology. Note it, I doesn't mention here, but maybe in exam if they ask, it will be useful for you. Auriferous tracheae. Auriferous tracheae is nothing but it supplies oxygen. The trachea, which supplies oxygen to ovarioles of many insects, have very few tracheoles, where ctenidia are absent. Usually, trachea will have ctenidia, but in some specifically in some ovaries of some insects, there will be very few tracheoles and tenuria will be absent. These type of tracheas are called as auriferous trachea, AURIFEROUS, auriferous trachea. And if you see the and if you see this system or the respiratory system of insects, this you can see dorsal longitudinal trunk and lateral longitudinal trunk. These are nothing but the connectivities. In majority of insects, the trachea from neighboring spiracles. Like for example, if you take abdomen, first segment of abdomen, there will be a pair of trachea in the lateral side of the abdomen, one in the one side and another on another side. Is like this, and the second segment, third segment, you will have all this will be connected by a trunk. Usually they will call as it's a longitudinal trunk. It runs length of the whole length of the body. Usually there is a lateral trunk. Already I told it's on the either side of the body connecting the spiracles. In addition to this lateral trunk only, you can find this longitudinal trunk. This longitudinal trunk will run along the gut and also on the either side of heart and nerve cord. You can see in this diagram. This is lateral trunk. You can see the lateral trunk. It is in the two sides of it's present in the abdomen, the lateral side of the abdomen. If you see the topmost in the dorsal region, you can see the heart. In this lateral side to the heart, you can find the longitudinal trunk, and also in the gut region also. Gut region also you can find the longitudinal trunk. So this longitudinal trunk branches and it connects the whole tracheal system of whole system in the abdomen as well as in the thoracic segment. And there are some commissures. Commissures usually are the connectives. These are transverse commissures which often connects both the sides at each segment. You see here, you can see the commissures. Ventral commissure it is given here. These connectivities, it will connect both the sides. Here also dorsal commissure will be there. It's not given here. It will connect. And now we can see the process called pneumatization. This pneumatization is nothing but tracheal system initially in newly hatched insects will be liquid filled. It won't be air filled. Liquid will be present. For example, butterfly, if you see once it's after it's coming out from the pupa, you can see that meconium coming out. Like this, that a liquid will be its full wings will be filled with a liquid system only. Sorry, its body with a liquid system. This liquid will be replaced by gas by a process called pneumatization. They can simply ask in exam like the replacement of liquid by gas in the insect respiratory system is called dash. Like this, they can ask. This pneumatization is present in many organisms, not only in insects, even human also there. It may be due to the active transport of fluid out from the trachea. Usually air comes, oxygen comes from outward to inward. Here, from inward to outward, the fluid will be transported. Instead of this gas will be replaced. This is called pneumatization. Now we can see the types of respiration. If you see, there are three types of respiration are there. Apart from main respiration, apart from tracheal respiration, if you see, there are cutaneous respiration, branchial respiration, and plastron respiration are there. First, we shall see the cutaneous respiration. I doesn't give some points here. I will tell some important points in cutaneous respiration. Usually, this cutaneous respiration is noticed in Protura, Plecoptera, and in stoneflies, and some dipterans, larval dipterans, and in many columbolans where tracheal system is absent. So instead of this cutaneous respiration is the only option for them. They obtain oxygen or lost carbon dioxide directly through their thin cuticle by means of diffusion. And this is the in case of cutaneous respiration. And in case of aquatic respiration, if you see in these aquatic insects, directly from air or from air dissolved in water. For obtaining oxygen directly, the insects have some mechanisms or some modifications like a breathing tube or breathing siphon. and they will obtain the air oxygen while they are visiting the water surface. See, you can see here. This is the water surface. You can see a respiratory organ called respiratory siphon. It will have this spiracle here. It will obtain its air from oxygen from upper surface in the surface of water. In some insects, they retain some, as I told, this respiratory siphon. They are not only even, it is not only a aquatic, sometimes the level of oxygen in the surface of water will be less. At that time, what this will do means, with the help of this respiratory siphon, they can uh, pin that plants which present in the aquatic plants which present inside the water, and they will take the oxygen from that. And some insects will have hydrofuge hairs. These hydrofuge hairs are nothing but in the ventral side of the abdomen or in the thorax region. They will have small fine hairs. That hairs, it functions by capturing the oxygen in the form of bubbles. In the later in the during its requirement for respiration, that bubbles will be transferred. The bubbles will have that gas that the insects will obtain from that. And if you see the example, it is seen in this Dieticus notonectidae. This it is also called as a plastron respiration. These bubbles usually will act as a physical gill, that it will stay in the abdomen, lower side of the abdomen. And if the some in some insects, specifically if we can tell, means the group, the insects which come under Odonata, and in Plecoptera, these Trichoptera, this aquatic group of insects have some special respiration. It means it will have some special gills which are called, it is mostly called, it is called as tracheal gills. The respiration which happens in this group of insects are called a closed tracheal system type of respiration. Here, tracheal system will be closed. Either it may be present inside the body, insect body, or else it may be changed into its modification. It's modified into some organs. If you see in Zygoptera, you can find this caudal gills. There will be 3 caudal gills will be there in the form of leaf-like structure. The veins will be represented as like a leaf there. Zygoptera nothing but damselfly. If you see in the Trichoptera are the caddisflies. These are the Trichoptera are the indicators of indicator organism. It's usually Trichopteras can be found in freshwater ecosystem. These Trichopteras have filamentous abdominal gills. This abdomen, in the abdomen side of lateral side of abdomen, they will have gills which are filamentous in nature. You can see this is in damselfly. This is the abdomen. It have this caudal lamellate gill. This caudal lamellate gill is given here. You can see like a branch of leaf. These veins has been arranged, and it is another one view. In this view, you can see epidermis, the cell layer. The trachea will be present at the center. This region is there, no? This center is this region. This is the trachea, which supplies oxygen there. And in case of Anisoptera, this larval, naiads of dragonflies, they will have some different modification compared to damselflies, or else of stoneflies, or else of you can this wait a minute. In larval Anisoptera, mainly dragonflies have rectal gills. It means the gills will be present inside the rectum, and it's known as the area is known as a branchial chamber. The gills usually will be present in the anterior part of rectum. I will explain this one specifically because it's very, very important in case of exam point of view also. Usually you can see here, this is the abdomen of larval dragonfly. This means naiad of dragonfly. This is the branchial chamber. This anterior region having these gills, rectal gills. The water is drawn. First of all, the water will be drawn in and out of the chamber by the activity of muscles. There will be, I told already, this respiratory mechanism usually done by means of muscles presence inside. While the muscle body gets either contracted, muscle gets contraction, or else it's expanded. At that time, the water will come in and go out. During contraction of this dorso-ventral muscles in the posterior abdomen segment, which will exert some pressure on the branchial chamber, which means here you can see the branchial chamber. In this posterior region, there will be the pressure will be created here, this posterior region, by the dorsal region, ventral region. This both cover a dorso-ventral muscle. This muscle will cause the pressure, which makes the branchial chamber to make the inward flow of water as well as outflow while it's during contraction of dorsoventral muscles. The water will come inside. While it's expanded, it will go outside. So like this, the 80% of water the rectum is renewed at each cycle, while there's a contraction and expansion going on in this process. And apart from this, I hasn't mentioned here on important thing is there in this rectal gill of dragonflies, it have one special cells called chlorine cells. This chlorine cells are the important cells which made this metabolism of oxygen transfer in this dragonflies. This question is very important. Maybe upcoming years this question may be asked in exam. You just refer it. I will while I'm sending this PPT, I will send the diagram of that chlorine cell with the points also. What is its function, everything. And if you see the endoparasitic insects, the endoparasitic insects will do. The endoparasitic insects are nothing but, for example, if you see hymenopteran, most of the hymenopterans are parasitic. They will live inside the another one insect. Parasitoids, you may know. This endoparasitic insect may obtain their oxygen either directly from air outside the host. Outside the host means not the insect which it's going to parasite. I mean, it is parasiting. Inside the host will be there, no? Where this endoparasitic insects present, that host where that it can obtain air directly, or else it will through the diffusion through its cuticle. This endoparasitic insect cuticle will be there, no? It will obtain through the diffusion from its host surrounding. Bedbug, the good examination is a bedbug. And if you see the functions of this tracheal system, it is a main important function in aquatic insects is its buoyancy. It helps in buoyancy, and major role in its important major role is circulation. For circulation, this is the important system. And in the nocturnal group of insects, this night roaming insects, this trachea forms tapetum beneath the eye. The tapetum is the layer, tracheal layer, which present in the many of the compound eyes. If you take Ommatidia, if you are taking an Ommatidia, you can see a layer beneath the corneal lens that is called tapetum. And if you see the tympanal membranes are these auditory organs are mainly which consist of air sacs, which helps in to vibrate freely. And if you see many of the insects, mainly during molting time, this like one instar to another instar, it's going to molt. At that time, it should come out. For coming out of from that exuvate, it will this tracheal system will help. It will give expansion and assist in inflation. Nothing but the air will be filled there, so it will go for next molt. And for example, if you see in Blatodia, Grombodorina, the sounds, it will produce sounding, the chipping sound. The sounds are produced by forcing air out through spiracles. From the spiracles, the air will be forced out through, so the sound will be produced. So these are some of the functions of spiracles. And apart from this, I have prepared this PPT very less time, so I doesn't add at some point. I will, for example point of view, I will send those also after I'm sending this PPT. Okay, these are the important points and the main things of insect respiratory system. If anybody having any doubts, you can free to ask. Hello. Hello, Lakshmika.
Hello.
அக்கா இருக்கீங்களா?
Navin, is it over? முடிஞ்சிருச்சா?
என்னோட பார்ட் நான் முடிச்சிட்டேன். இஃப் அவங்க டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா நான் கேட்க சொல்லுங்க.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Students, do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts to ask?
No,
Preeti,
ma'am.
Vijay, Charita, anyone having any doubt? Akhila, hello.
No, ma'am.
You understood the concept of a respiratory system, everyone? Okay. You all understood the basics and the concept behind this respiratory system?
I will tell whatever important area you to be you should be revised while you are going for examination. In respiratory system, you need to see the types of these spiracles, this holomustic, peripneustic, like this types you should be seen along with example. Surely they will ask one question every year in all type of ICAR related exams. They are asking one question from that. It's mandatory thing. And apart from this, the structure of trachea, tracheoles and spiracles, how it is connected. Spiracle, trachea, tracheole. Spiracle is outside, tracheole is inside. In between trachea is present, and how it helps in this oxygen transfer. These functions you should be remember with this, and with the examples. In some insects, some specific mechanism of respiration will be there. In which insects this rectal gills are there, in which insects these filamentous gills are present, and this the structures, like I told, this chlorine cells. You maybe it's actually, and for the UG, I mean for PG level of entrance, it's not a mandatory thing. But nowadays the competition becoming every day, it's becoming more. So at least you need to be somewhat updated comparing to others. Then only you can able to score more in the exam. So these things are very important. And you try to study the respiratory system in combination with circulatory system. These both are like brothers. These two should be studied combinedly. So while after completing the circulatory system, you continue this together. If you are having any doubts, or else what I have explained you, if you are finding any difficulty, please ask me. I will explain you again.
Vivek, hello. You understood? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about Ria, Pranaya?
You can see in this slide, I have told this chlorine cells, chloride cells. These are the chloride cells, like a clamp. It is present. No, this is the view while it is cut. The one segment, for example, I am cutting the 6th segment. if you are seeing this in the branch cell jumper, I'm telling, if I'm cutting this one segment, if you are seeing inside, you can find this chloride cells. There is no need to remember this diagram or like this, but you need to try to remember this chloride cell. This chloride cell is the main important cell which functions in the respiratory process in insects. So try to remember this point. This year, last year, in SRF exam, they have asked this question. Many students can't able to judge what cells it may be present. Many put as a sodium cell, potassium, like this ions, but it's a chlorine cell, chloride cell. So remember this one point. அக்கா வேற ஏதாவது இருக்காக்கா?
ஓவரா
முடிஞ்சு. நான்
முடிஞ்சிருச்சா?
கவர் பண்ணிட்டேன் மேக்ஸிமம். நான் வேணா இந்த பிபிடி வேணா உங்களுக்கு நான் சென்ட் பண்றேன். உங்களுக்கு சென்ட் பண்ணிருங்க. ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு வேணா ரெஃபர் பண்றதுக்கு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். இல்ல இந்த I will send this I will send this PPT to you ma'am. நீங்க வந்து இத உங்களுக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. For exam purpose they can use it. Okay.
So you all understand the concept, no? Everyone? Can anyone unmute and respond?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So tomorrow again we will meet, and tomorrow we will be dealing with the circulatory system. Okay?
one minute ஒரே நிமிஷம் இருக்கா? மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, okay. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Carry on, Navin.
ஒரே 1 minute.
Okay. Hello.
நான் இதுக்கு ரிலேட்டடான क्वेश्चन பேப்பர் வந்து நான் ஒன்னு சென்ட் பண்றேன். இத வேணா டெஸ்ட் எழுதி பார்க்க சொல்லுங்க படிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம்.
Okay. அது கடைசியா நம்ம போட்டு.
Okay. I will share you a related question to this respiratory system. You can take this question after you are reading. It will be like a refreshing for you. Once you are reading any topic related to one specific topic, then you need to take some mock questions related to that. Then only you will feel confidence. Even if you are reading 4 or 5 times, you are making revisions for several times, it won't be useful until you are taking some mock test. One book. Okay, I will tell later. Okay, thank you. If anybody having doubts, you can ask at any time. We will convey it to ma'am also. Okay ka mute இது பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
Okay now. So you all understood, right? So tomorrow again we will meet. I will send the link. Tomorrow will be about circulatory system. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. You can leave the meeting now. Thank you. Thank you, Navin.